What's up, guys? You're watching Space Ron. In this video, I'm going to talk about home inspection, what it takes to become a home inspector, what you can look at for profit, earnings, how viable of a business it might be for you, just a few pros and cons. We'll dissect what it would be like to become a home inspector. Now, don't forget, though, after the video to give me some feedback, okay? I always love to hear from you, so drop a comment in the section below. If you like my content, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now, to start things off, I'm going to tell you the definition of home inspection, only because lots of people get this mixed up. They think being a home inspector has, something to do with electrical or building structural codes and things like that, but that is completely not true. Those are inspectors, don't get me wrong, but that's a completely different line of work. So, home inspection. A home inspection is a limited, non-invasive, keyword non-invasive, examination of the condition of a home, often in connection with the sale of that home. Home inspections are usually conducted by a home inspector who has the training and certifications to perform such inspections. Now, the reason I wanted to point out non-invasive is because I'm actually about halfway through my home inspection course right now. I'm not in a huge rush to do it. I got a million other things on the go, but I thought it'd be neat to become a licensed home inspector, just to open up some doors and have that potential business opportunity there. So, but the one thing that they've stressed more than anything throughout my course is do not touch anything, pretty much. I mean, you can touch the walls, you can touch things, but like, don't move a piece of furniture. If there's an outlet behind the couch, sorry, I can't get to it, and that's what you report. So it's definitely not a strenuous job. It's not a backbreaker, anything like that. It basically boils down to using a couple cool little gadgets and checking off boxes and providing an overall property condition assessment to your customer. So it seems pretty interesting, right? Seems like a good gig, easy gig. It's actually high paying. We'll get into that a little bit later. But so what does it take to become a home inspector? So first things first, go on your government website or contact your government wherever you live. Everyone's going to have a little bit different rules and regulations to be able to obtain a license. So I'm from Alberta, so of course alberta.ca, home inspector license. Of course, you're going to have to be educated to some degree. So scrolling down, there's a list of educators, advanced home inspection certificate from yada yada yada, all these different colleges, Algonquin, Ashton College, Bow Valley. So anyways, it's got a long list of Alberta government approved educators for you to then decide which one you want to go with. So the great thing about this anyway is that most of these are all online. 99% of my business ideas and ventures that I go on or I think of, consider, anything like that are things that I'm able to do while keeping my day job. Some people might argue with me over this, but what I did is I researched every single one of these places and I picked out the cheapest one, okay? My theory, it's approved by the Alberta government, okay? They've clearly studied this program, they've went through it, and they have deemed it competent in teaching people to be competent in this line of work. So that ended up being Advanced Home Inspection Certificate from Professional Home Inspection Institute. So if we click over here, the Professional Home Inspection Institute. So be aware though, just make sure it's the advanced version. If you're in Alberta anyway, just make sure that you're reading all of the fine details of the program, because there's actually a home inspection which I'm actually certified in now, but I still have to complete the advanced course if I want to get my license. So just make sure you're going with the right program. Of course, that's going to take a little bit of your own research, but you get the basics of it. So next, after we complete our education, we're ready to go. We've met their simple requirements actually of being a home inspector, as simple as an online course. Now we need to apply for our license. So again, back to the government, okay? That's who's going to issue the license. That's who's going to allow us to conduct business. So alberta.ca again for me. Now a cost, so this is for the business. So a 2-year licensing fee. So every 2 years you obviously got to renew it, but big deal. So 3 or fewer licensed home inspectors. So I could even get a couple more people to work with me to build this business for $500. Okay, so I forgot to mention also the home inspection program that I went with was about $700 Canadian. So $700 plus $500 licensing fee. So I'm 1,200 bucks all in, and I'm ready to go for my business. Another thing that I don't see often, this is the first I've actually ever seen, it was when I was researching this business specifically, was this security bond. So obtain and provide an original signed security in the amount of $10,000. So at first I was like, okay, well, you know, this was looking like a pretty cool kind of cheap startup side gig business. You know, 1,200 bucks all in, but now we need another 10 grand. So maybe not, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to fork up 10 grand, cut them a check, send them an e-transfer, or whatever it may be. So I contacted my insurance, and they basically can add that to your policy and provide the $10,000 to start the business, and it's all dealt through insurance anyway. You're going to be paying monthly insurance. You're not really going to know the difference. It's pretty simple to accomplish that, but I just wanted to point that out anyway so you don't get turned off by the fact, because I almost did, but I'm like, you know what, I'm going to look into this. I'm going to figure it out because it seems kind of crazy to have to do that. So again, you may not come across that. Everywhere is going to be different. But just in case, make sure you always continue to research before you kind of shut down an idea. So pretty simple, right? 1,200 bucks, some online training. You can then be a licensed home inspector to start your business. So now what's the earning potential? So average cost of home inspection in Alberta. You can expect to pay anywhere from $300 to $500 for a home inspection, depending on the size, location, and of course age of the home. Of course, worse conditions homes, bigger homes, they're going to take longer, as we know. So again, you know, another $400 average home inspection can be $500-600 plus. So anyways, you see, it's very, very profitable. And now remember, this is in the matter of a few hours you're going to be at a home inspection. So if you can bang off 2 of those a day, you're then making $1,000-1,200 a day. You know, end of the day, you can finish off your report on whatever software you decide to use. And in this day and age, I mean, the software out there is just phenomenal. Again, it's pretty much checking boxes. You're taking pictures, answering questions for this software. I don't know much about this Property Inspect. I just pulled it up just to give you an example. Okay, I haven't made it that far into my business yet. But of course, there's going to be a ton of options to go through. Whatever works for you. There's going to be different price points for the software. And again, could matter the location where you're at, but see, Property Inspection Report, it's gonna create it all for you. It's gonna do it all for you. You're just gonna be filling in the blanks just to make your job a whole lot easier. Now, as I mentioned earlier in this video, you're pretty much just gonna be playing with some cool gadgets. It really doesn't take much. Of course, a ladder, electrical testers. You're gonna have your, you know, ground fault circuit interrupters. Things like that, just little tiny things to plug in here and there, run some tests, diagnose. Of course, respirators, because you could be going into mold or asbestos and things like that. So just your own PPE, thermal imaging devices. Again, just cool things, but you don't actually need all of it either. I mean, all of it's helpful. It'll build a more reputable business, but you don't need all of it. Just remember that, okay? So if you need to just kind of start off with just what you need to get going, make a little bit of money, get the cooler stuff as you go. I mean, that's generally how lots of business goes, because I don't know about you, but I don't have a bunch of money sitting to drop up front to do any business I want to do. I do have to hit the payment, make some money, and kind of grow it as I go. As far as your market goes, it's something you'd advertise just like any other business. If you want to buy advertisement space around town, of course, put some logos on your car, build a website, advertise on Facebook, any kind of social media, stuff like that, just like any other business you would have. And then you might want to approach also realtors. If you can work out a deal, kind of get in with a couple realtors in town, because as they're selling houses, if you're their go-to inspector, then they're just going to feed you work. If you give them a good deal or whatever you can work out there, that would be your prime person you'd want to work with. So anyways, guys, pretty simple, cheap, $1,200, easy to do, easy to start up business that can earn you lots of money. I hope you enjoyed this idea. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me your thoughts about home inspection. Give me your insight. Maybe you have lots to share as well about home inspection, about other businesses. I'm here to learn. That's what we're here to do, is help each other in the world of business.